Hello folks, this is Sulta speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. Well, this is footage taken from the public beta environment, the PBE, and this is a first look at set 8. So this is going to be a set called Monsters Attack. That's the official name. This is going to be the theme of kind of superheroes and supervillains is kind of the setup for this particular set that we're going to have here. This is very early on. This footage was taken from the second day of the PBE. And, well, we're just going to take an early look at some of the gameplay here, talk a little bit about some of the changes that are coming in this set, and we'll go from there. But don't think that any of the numbers that you see are likely to stick around, or that any of the balance is going to be around when the set launches. PBE releases patches every single day, and the balance is constantly in flux. There's also a lot of bugs on the PBE that are always getting ironed out. So just an early look here. And in particular in this game, we're going to end up looking at the trait called Anima Squad, but I'll get into that in a minute. So as we said, we've got a new set. That means we're going to have new champions, we're going to have new traits, and we're going to have a new roster of units to play around with. I will note that I have a Rammus on the board. It kind of became a running joke that Rammus was the only champion from League of Legends that had not been put in Teamfight Tactics. I don't think they did that deliberately. I think it just ended up that after like 3 or 4 sets, Rammus was the only champ that hadn't been added. And so then they kept deliberately keeping him out as kind of a meme thing. But anyway, Rammus is in this set. He's not going to be featured in this video, but he is a unit that's in this set for the curious. So what are some of the features that are being added in this set? Well, the big new feature is the presence of hero augments. So the Hextech augments are sticking around. They have been around since set 6, and set 6, set 7, they have decided that this is going to be a permanent feature in Teamfight Tactics, and that works for me. I do think the augments are a good addition to the gameplay. I wouldn't have minded if they had gone away and been replaced with something similar, but it makes sense keeping them around. And so the big change up for this set is going to be hero augments. That is, you will have augments that are trait related, augments that are generic, but you will also have the possibility to get augments that are specifically tailored to individual champions. Now, this is kind of a bad game to show that because we're not going to get a hero augment until the 3rd augment choice. They can pop up on any of the 3 augments first, the one on stage 2, the one on stage 3, or the one on stage 4. So we're going to have to hold off a little bit to see that, but take my word for it. There are hero-specific augments, and so every single champion in the game is going to have 2 hero augments associated with them. And they can be either ones that provide a team-wide benefit or that pump up the strength of the unit themselves. So there's going to be like roughly 55 champions. I don't know if that's the exact number, but TFT sets always have like right around 55 champs. So there'll be about that many champions, and then there'll be that number times 2 for the hero augment. So it'll be about 110 hero augments. I suspect it's going to be a long time before people are familiar with what all of them are. A number of them are also very much in flux here on the PBE. So what do we have here? Well, we actually had a prismatic augment to start the game, and I have taken Celestial Blessing, good old Celestial Blessing, so causes your units to heal for some of the damage that they deal. So Celestial Blessing is a prismatic, tends to be good as the game goes on. It's somewhat weak at the early game because your units don't deal that much damage in the early game. But, oh, are we actually going to win this round? Wow, I forgot. I actually ended up winning this round. Now, granted, I had an augment, and the other person effectively didn't because they took the loaded dice. They have 3 loaded dice there on the bench. So I was effectively up a prismatic augment there, and that's probably part of the reason. But I have all 1 stars. My board is basically garbage right now. I had played a game earlier than this on this same day, and I wanted to test Anima Squad out because the person that had beaten me in that game had been running an Anima Squad board. So I had wanted to test that out. Thus, I'm picking up Anima Squad champions right now, but I don't actually have enough to run the trait. Oh, I guess I do have enough to run the trait, but I'm currently playing through a Senna that I found, this Senna who has the Laser Core trait. So that is the unit that I'm playing right now. Since this is the first video I've done for set 8, I will just try to describe what some of these traits do. So this one here, Laser Core, is the one that I'm playing with right now. It is a 369 trait. I'll read the official description. When a Laser Core agent attacks or is hit by an attack, their combat drone has a 50% chance to deal magic damage to the agent's target, half a second cooldown. When a Laser Core agent dies, their drone is reassigned to the nearest living agent. So basically all of the Laser Core units get these little drones, and whenever they attack or are hit by an attack, there's a chance that the drone will fire at their target, 50% chance. So kind of a weird trait, but an interesting one nonetheless. I haven't gotten much chance to play around with this trait because I haven't gotten much chance to play around with anything in this set. I think this was like the third or fourth game I had actually played on the set. Mostly what I was trying to do was just learn what all the units are and what all the traits are. And that's really probably the best thing that PBE does is when a set's getting ready to launch is just familiarize yourself with who the champions are, what the traits are. This set is pretty difficult to pick them up just because it is using all of this like kind of futuristic portrait artwork. That's not every single unit has that, but most of them have something that's like science fiction-y or futuristic, that sort of thing. And I didn't like it when this was the case back in set 3 because a lot of the artwork looks really similar. Like both the units on the actual screen and also the portrait artwork. It can look very similar. It's like person in a mech suit holding a sword, person in a mech suit holding a gun. And like there's a lot of overlap between these units. So I am sure that I will learn them with time, but I was definitely having some difficulty telling a lot of the units apart when I started out. I don't think this set's going to be that easy for newcomers to pick up, in part for this reason, and also because it's a very complicated set. The addition of the hero augments is just going to make things even more complicated than they were before. So I don't think this is going to be an easy set for newcomers. And I do fear long-term that the direction that the game's taking is it's getting maybe a little bit too complicated for a lot of people. But anyway, I guess we'll have to see as far as that goes. Okay, so there was no offensive item that I wanted. I wanted to take an AD item, but there were no AD items. So instead, I've gone ahead and taken a Riven. Riven is a unit that is going to be in an awful lot of traits, or excuse me, an awful lot of team comps in this set. I just stashed her right in the middle of my board. That's because she has 3 very useful traits. So whenever a unit that is, she's a 3-cost unit, so she's available from the start of the game, but also still playable in the late game because 3-cost units are not like 1-cost units you want to dump off your board. But she has 3 different traits. She has Anima Squad as one of her traits, and that's the one I'm going to talk more about in a bit. But then she also has double defensive traits as well. She has the Brawler trait, which is Bruisers, Brawlers, has been around for a while, gives you additional health, and Brawlers themselves. Oh, no, actually, it's a little bit different in this. I assumed it was like Bruiser trait, but I'm actually reading the flavor text right here. Brawlers gain additional maximum health. It does not provide a team-wide benefit the way the Bruiser trait did. Okay. Anyway, though, Brawlers are frontline units, and they gain additional maximum health. So, like I said, frontline tank trait, extra HP. She also has the Defender trait as well, which gives those units bonus armor and also additional armor to the entire team. So those are 2 defensive traits, Brawler, Defender, and then she also has this Anima Squad trait as well, which is what I have just swapped into at this point in time because I was able to, what did I do? Anyway, I ended up dumping the laser core because I found a vein. That was the reason why. Now, I probably have made my team a little bit weaker by doing this, but I did want to have an opportunity to test out Anima Squad in this game. So that's really what I was doing is I was testing out this trait because it looked like it was pretty strong. Now I'm highlighting some of this stuff on the left-hand side, but I'll read the official Anima Squad description in a second after we watch this fight. Now you might see a little indicator that says Fame +1, like when some of these units are getting kills. That plays into one of the ways that this trait works. So actually Vane's going to get double Fame right there. And right now she's engaged in a duel with a Draven. Can she actually win this? It's pretty close, but no. Draven, 33 HP. That's a little bit disappointing that he was not able to hit that. But hey, I'm hitting some other Anima Squad units. That's nice. Already got 2-star Nasus, who's another frontliner. Anima Squad plus Mascot are his traits. But it is a minion round, so this is an ideal opportunity to cover what the heck this trait does. So I will read the description. Anima Squad members build fame for scoring champion kills. So they gain fame every time they score a champion kill. When they pause to celebrate a kill, they permanently gain 5 maximum health per point of fame. Fame immediately benefits the whole Anima Squad. So this is a stacking trait that goes on as the game lasts. Every time an Anima Squad unit kills an enemy unit, they will gain +1 fame, and that applies to all of the Anima Squad units. It is currently 5 HP per trait per point of fame. So right now I think we have like 5 fame. And by the way, now I hit 2-star Jinx, so I'm really hitting the Anima Squad units. Having pretty good luck at hitting 2 stars here. So 5 fame, that is 25 extra max HP for each Anima Squad unit. Not an awful lot, but it does stack over the course of the game. So, if you get 100 kills, that's 500 health. for all the Anima Squad units. That's, that's pretty good. So it's another one of those traits that benefits playing it early on and then looking to stack it up as the game goes on. Now, that's not the only thing. Anima Squad also gives its units attack damage and ability power. Right now, Anima Squad 3 is 15 attack damage and 15 ability power, and then it goes up from there. Again, expect the numbers to change. It may actually have already changed since the cheat sheet was produced. I'm looking at the cheat sheet for this. Might have even been different at the time this game was played, but it's an offensive trait. Oh, there it is, 15 AD and AP, 40% at rank 5, 65% at rank 7. So it's an offensive trait, additional attack damage and additional ability power. So you will want to get tankiness for frontline from other traits. Now look at this, we get another prismatic augment here, and I don't want those first options. I was like, I definitely don't want built different. I don't want knife's edge. I guess it's electrocharge there. So I'm not in love with this, but it will, it's just kind of an okay generic augment. I've got these double generic augments. I didn't want Cursed Crown or something like that. Nice edge. I'm looking to play through the Vayne. The word was that Vayne was a little bit overtuned in this particular PBE patch, so I've been looking to play through Vayne, and Vayne is a backline unit, so I'm not going to play Vayne up on the front line for Knife's Edge. And I can't remember what some of the other options were, but I was able to level to 6 there and put in 5 Anima Squad, so that means we're going to get the increased ability power and increased, increased AD and increased AP. Also, of course, having more Anima Squad units means it's more likely that the unit that gets the kill will be an Anima Squad unit, and then continue generating fame for the rest of the team. So yeah, we're just going to look to stack that fame, and we'll see how many stacks we can get before this game is over, since we do get one pretty much every time we kill an enemy unit. All right, so I feel like my board's in relatively good shape. Obviously, I've been helped by hitting an awful lot of 2-star units. I think I've 2-starred almost everything on my board. I've not 2-starred the Vayne, which again is the unit that I'm stacking right now. But I did manage to 2-star the Riven, and that's pretty nice because Riven's one of the key units in this team composition. So every unit on my board right now is an Anima Squad unit. I've got Nasus Riven on the front lines. I have a Silas that's just kind of standing around randomly as a trait bot. He's a 1-cost unit in this set. Vayne in the backline, and then also a Jinx in the backline. Jinx is kind of a support unit, if I understand her correctly. If I get this stuff wrong, it's early in the set. What does she do? She fires a rocket that stuns enemies. Yeah, so Jinx is not really a carry unit. She is a utility unit that's designed to stun enemies. So, I mean, maybe someone will come up with a build where they feature her as the carry, but does not look like that's kind of her role on a team. So Vayne is the unit that we're going to be looking to play through. And I'm going to try to get Vayne's traits in play, or at least one of her traits in play. Right now, the only trait of hers that's in play is Anima Squad itself. She also has the Duelist trait and the Recon trait. So I would like to get my next unit in needs to be either a Duelist unit or a Recon unit. Of course, I could also drop the Renekton that I have on the front line. Renekton only provides Baller trait. Renekton is not an Anima Squad unit, but I feel like frontline is one of my weaknesses right now, so I want to play Renekton for that Brawler synergy, and then I'll try to move into a better, higher tier Brawler as the game goes on, since Renekton is a 1-cost unit. Still, the fact that Riven has Brawler and Defender traits is very nice. I think she's kind of going to be like the Rakan of this set, in the way that Rakan was played in like a lot of team comps in set 7.5, or Lulu in the first half of the set. Lulu was played in like a billion different comps because she just had so many useful traits that could apply in different situations. So I suspect we'll be seeing a lot of Riven in this set, but time will tell. There's another Vayne. I still have to hit another one. I think I ended up... and I go ahead and find Misfortune there, so that's awesome. I should not have sold the Silas, though. So I had Silas. I was playing Silas as my 5th Anima Squad unit, but I was able to find the 4-cost Anima Squad unit, who is Misfortune, so I immediately just make that replacement. Still, I should have held the Silas on my bench. You can see I'm going to hold this other Silas, just in case I would be able to find an Anima Squad emblem of some kind. Normally, you can only play 5 Anima Squad. There's only 6 Anima Squad units, and we're seeing all of them. It's Nasus, Riven, Vayne, Jinx, Misfortune, and Silas. So there's only 6 of them, but it is a makeable emblem. It is one of the spatula recipes. So I should hold this unit just in case. There would be the off chance that I would be able to find a spatula and be able to make an emblem for this trait. Because obviously 7 Anima Squad would be better than 5 Anima Squad. So I'll just hold this unit. It only costs 1 gold to hold this unit, so it's not a big deal. All right, well, I do want to talk a little bit about the Vayne, because that is the unit I'm playing through. So Vayne is another unit that has 3 traits. She has Anima Squad trait. She also has Recon trait. And she has the Duelist trait. So we're already familiar with Anima Squad. Mentioned how you get AD and AP, and also get the fame that stacks throughout the game. Her other traits are Duelist. Now, Duelist is back from previous sets. Duelist innately grants movement speed, and it also provides stacking attack speed. Duelist basic attacks grant bonus attack speed, stacks up to 10 times. This was a trait back in some of the previous sets. I think set 4 had this, if I'm remembering. And I believe that this was one of the mutant traits, or I think this is one of the mutant traits in set 6, if I'm remembering correctly. I could be wrong. But anyway, so Duelist has been around in some previous sets, but it grants attack speed, and it's a stacking attack speed bonus. So I would like to get a Duelist on the board so that Vayne can stack attack speed with her auto attacks. By the way, look at this fight. I'm up against someone who has a whole bunch of 3 stars. So, can Vayne win this one? Yes, actually. And that's a big win because it interrupts that person's win streak and keeps my win streak going into the minion round. That person was playing a reroll comp with supers. And they apparently got Think Fast as their prismatic augment. So they were able to use Think Fast to just grab a whole bunch of their 3 stars. And they look like they're very strong. So I was glad that I was able to win that round, because I suspect that they're going to be winning a lot of the upcoming rounds. All right, anyway, just to finish this point on Vayne, her other trait is Recon, which is a new trait for this set. I'm actually not going to be playing into Recon in this particular game, so I don't want to say too much about it. But Recon, when people have the Recon trait, they gain additional attack range, they gain 2 additional hex range, and they also get additional crit chance. And they also will dash away from enemy units that come up to attack them when they cast their ability. Anyway, as far as what I'm doing right now, I am going to level and play this Zed. Zed has the Duelist trait. He also has the Laser Core trait. So maybe I can get that trait in. The same thing I was using at the beginning of the game. But right now, Zed is just in there as a trait bot. He's a Duelist, and he's actually the 4-cost Duelist. He's the highest cost, most expensive Duelist, so it makes sense just to put him in there. But he's basically in there as a trait bot for Vayne. He's not really intended to do all that much. I also got even more swords. I've been getting an awful lot of swords in this game, so I went ahead and made a Deathblade on Vayne. And now I've got the Duelist trait in, so she will stack attack speed over the course of the fight. But mostly she's just going to hit really, really hard because she has all of this AD. She's got the Infinity Edge, she has the Deathblade, and the Giant Slayer. She doesn't attack all that fast, so I am kind of relying on having the Duelist trait to give her some additional attack speed. And, oh, here we go. So we're finally going to get the hero augment. And look at this. I have one for Misfortune. Gain a Misfortune. Her ability covers a wider cone. When she casts her ability, she gains, what was that, a 200 damage shield for a couple seconds. So that's going to give me a Misfortune. And then I get another Misfortune in the shop. So I have Misfortune 2-star here at the beginning of level 5 without rolling at all. So this is pretty lucky here. Now, I have not itemized Misfortune at all because I wasn't expecting to hit Misfortune this early. So it's a little bit unfortunate that I don't have anything on the actual Misfortune. You'll note that whatever unit gets the hero augment gets a little, like, pink indicator on top of them. There's also a graphical indicator over on the augment one, so you can see which unit is going to be the hero unit for that particular team. There will normally be a hero augment in each game. It's not guaranteed. I think it's like 5% odds there will be no hero augment, but most games there will be one. You will never get 2 hero augments. There'll only be 1 in each particular game. And as I mentioned, each unit has 2 of these options. One of them is like a carry option, and that's what I have here for Misfortune. I got the carry option, the one that gives her a wider cone on her ability. And there's also an economic one. I actually kind of wish I had gotten the economic one for Misfortune. I believe the economic one for Misfortune gives you 15 gold every 3 rounds or something like that. That's going to have to get nerfed. Let me see if I can actually find the Misfortune one. I'm going to look on the cheat sheet and see if I can find what that actually looks like. Yeah. Her economic one is every 3-player combat, she gains 15 gold. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Can you imagine if I had hit that? I would have so much gold, it would be insane. I would definitely prefer that. I could just fast 9 and then easily get to 9 like nothing. But anyway, so that was not the option that I got. But just to give you an idea that some of these are like more team-wide focused, some of them are utility focused, some of them are economic focused. You get the idea. As far as Misfortune's ability, I think it's pretty straightforward. It's her ability. She's had this in some previous sets. She fires a big cone of bullets that kind of hits the whole board. And it's very good at hitting like a big clump of enemy units. It's not very good for 1v1. Big problem is it takes her forever to cast because she has a high mana cost in this set. I think she has like 140 mana or something like that. Again, this might get adjusted later. I'm just gonna look it up right now. 120, at least on the cheat sheet. It may have changed since then. Now you might say, "Oh, we'll just give her a Spear of Shojin so she'll cast faster." Yeah, well, it's actually been a pretty big item rework in this set as well. They nerfed Spear of Shojin super duper hard. It's actually pretty terrible now, so I'm not going to look to make that. That said, I would like to put an item on Misfortune. I want to start itemizing her. But look, all of the items I would want to put on MF are gone. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this spatula because I know that there is a craftable emblem for Anima Squad. If I can find that if I can find the right component, I'll be able to make an Anima Squad emblem. I actually did not know what it was, but it's apparently rod plus spatula. So now we just need to find a rod, and the hope is that we can get one. It is a little bit late in the game, but I'm hoping I can still get one. You do have some additional choice in that regard as far as the end of Stage 4, which I'll talk about in a minute. So about the only thing that I haven't hit so far has been a 2-star Vayne. I've been on 2 out of 3 Vaynes for ages and ages and ages. That's the biggest thing holding my team back right now. You can see I've got 280 bonus health from 56 Vayne. But that's kind of the biggest thing holding me back because Vayne is the unit that I itemized. I certainly could not have expected to hit 2-star Misfortune before I hit 2-star Vayne. That is not something that's going to happen very often in most games, but it is a bit unfortunate that I have not been able to hit the 2-star Vayne. So like 2-star Vayne would survive this, and I probably would win. Can MF clutch out this fight? It's going to be against her and this Samira on the other team, so can she manage to get another ult off? The Celestial Blessing is actually helping here. Come on. One more ult. We're going to be able to win this. Come on. She gets the shield. There we go. Got that shield from her augment, and that was enough to barely clutch that one out, so I will take it. As far as the Vayne, though, I will just cover what her actual ability does. Vayne's ability is called Silver Bolt, costs 40 mana. Vayne fires a heavy bolt at her target, dealing true damage. So she deals true damage, but it scales off % of attack damage. It's currently 120% of attack damage. So you build heavy AD on her, and then that causes her ability to deal true damage, and then it also deals some bonus physical damage as well. So you do want to stack AD on her. But by the way, look at this person. I was like, what? Why does this person have 3 Tactician's Crowns? What? Well, if you're wondering what in the world was going on there, there was a bug in this particular day of the PBE. The Underground trait, which is this set's version of Mercenaries or like the Cash Out economic trait, there was a bug in it, and it was possible for people to get like basically the maximum cash out reward on their first cash out. So they were able to get like a huge benefit that you are not at all expected to get. And some people were abusing that bug. I don't know if this person was abusing the bug or if they just accidentally took advantage of it. But in any case, yeah, they were able to get triple Tactician's Crowns and multiple loaded dice. They have 3 loaded dice and 3 Tactician's Crowns. Like, obviously, this is not supposed to happen. So at this point, I was like, that's going to be a tough board to overcome. I don't know if I'm going to be able to overcome that. But, I mean, otherwise, leaving that board aside, I think my team's looking pretty solid here. So one other thing I should mention just briefly is when I leveled to 8, I went ahead and tossed this Aurelian Soul on the board. And Aurelian Soul is another new feature in this set called a threat. Threat units do not have any traits. They don't benefit from any traits. So like they don't really fit into any particular team comps. By the way, we get the rod, which is awesome. Now I'll be able to make that Anima Visage. Or not Anima Squad, Anima Squad. Anima Squad emblem. You also get this, an emblem. This is something that drops in place of the Treasure Dragon. You can't re-roll it in the way you could re-roll the Treasure Dragons endlessly, but it does give you some more choice over a component. So no longer are you like guaranteed to get the exact component that you need, but it does mean that you have some choice. As you can see, I had some degree of flexibility there in terms of what I got. And it feels like a nice compromise in the sense that you can't guarantee you're going to get what you want, but you know, you can have some additional flexibility. So anyway, I'm going to make the Anima Squad emblem. Now I've got 7 Anima Squad in, so that was 65 AD and 65 AP for all of my Anima Squad units. And I'm just going to turn Zed into an Anima Squad unit. Again, I'm not sure that he really uses this that amazingly well, but giving him additional AD and AP, that does not feel bad by any means. And he's already in there, as I said, kind of as a trait bot for the Vayne. And then now he'll also be getting Anima Squad stuff as well. Once again, I really wish that Vayne was 2-star. I've been looking here. My plan is to stay at level 8 and roll at least until I can 2-star the Vayne and hope that I can go from there. But comes up just a little bit short, and that's a bit unfortunate. Again, 2-star Vayne wins that very easily, so that's the biggest thing holding me back right now. I'm also going to ditch the Renekton in favor of Sejuani. She's also a brawler, but just a better brawler. I've also got this Mordekaiser for Laser Core. I could potentially play that, but then I would have to drop the... I'd have to drop like the Sejuani for that, and I kind of want the brawler trait. By the way, I'm also up to 6 Misfortunes. I still have the Champion Duplicator, so that's a possibility as well. So, as I said, I think that the play right now is definitely stay here at level 8. I don't really gain that much from going to level 9. I guess I could play, like I said, I could have played that Mordekaiser for Laser Core, but like, Laser Core is not a trait I'm really playing through right now. Like, the Zed has it, but Zed is not a featured carry unit, so I don't think that Laser Core would do that much for me in this board. So instead of looking to push to 9, let's stay here at level 8. We still need to try to find Vayne 2-star. And hey, we're on 6 Rivens and we're on 6 Misfortunes, so we've got odds to find them. And we have the Champion Duplicator as well. Ah, Misfortune. I'm enjoying every time you get that ult off. I just wish I could give you some kind of items. Also, I'm used to killing the target dummy gives me Fame stacks as well. That's pretty funny. All right, looks like MF's got this. And we're up to 85 Fame, so that's like 400 health. Definitely getting a lot of benefit from that. All right, so again, I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to try to be patient. I'm continuing to try to roll here. And hey, well, we hit 2-star Silas. Okay. Gonna roll it down. I think I wanted to roll to 30 here because I wanted to see if I could... Again, I'm still trying to find one more Vayne. I found 6 Misfortunes, but only 2 Vaynes. What is going on? All right, so I guess I ended up stopping there. Again, I think my board is very good. It's comparable to pretty much everyone except that person who, again, is playing the underground board and kind of exploiting bugs. And, oh, it looks like I've hit them here. Again, 3 Force of Natures, or Tactician's Crowns, it's been renamed, and 3 loaded dice. I guess that's loaded dice they got from their augment, so they didn't get that there. But yeah, they just have so many items because they're playing this underground trait, which also prints items as well. And yeah, it's not especially close. They just have too many units on the board. They have 11 units on the board right now. It's just like, all right, well, I guess we'll see. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. I actually don't think their board is built very well at all. They are taking advantage of a bug to the underground trait, and they basically gotten the benefit of like cashing out on like a 15 loss to use the parallels to like mercenaries from previous sets. It's the equivalent of getting like a 15 loss cash out streak and not having actually lost all those rounds. All right, well, look at what we've got here. It's a carousel, and there's another Anima Squad emblem on here. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I'd like the Jeweled Gauntlet for Misfortune. That would be great, but that's gone. So, okay, yeah, I'll take that. I also thought about the Thief's Glove, but that's gone too. So we'll take the Anima Squad emblem. This now means I can drop Nasus from my board. Nasus, or no, I can drop Nasus from my board and replace Nasus with a much better frontliner. So I've already moved into the Sejuani to take advantage of the. I've put in Sejuani to take advantage of the Duelist trait. No, not Duelist trait, the Brawler trait that's on Riven. Now I would really like to find a Defender that I can also put up there, so I can get both of her defensive traits in play. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. For the moment, I've tossed a Fiddlesticks in there. Fiddlesticks is another threat. Again, that means he doesn't really have traits, doesn't really benefit from traits, but he is a 5-quest unit, so he should make reasonably good use of this Anima Squad emblem. He is someone who is static at the start of the fight, and then once he takes a certain amount of damage, or if enough members of your team die, he suddenly casts his Crowstorm ultimate, and yeah, starts fearing the enemy team and dealing magic damage. I don't have a good sense of how strong this unit is. I've mostly been trying to play the teams that... I have not really been playing the threats a whole lot, because I've been trying to like actually build teams, and the threats don't actually fit into teams. It's actually a pretty cool idea because they're very splashable. You can kind of put them in whatever team you want because they don't have traits. But I've been trying to play, trying to build actual teams with units that fit together, and then I'll figure out like how the threats can be tossed into them later on. All right, well, again, I have not found any more Misfortunes. I have not found any more Rivens. I'm still looking for the top Defender unit as well, which is actually set. I was looking at the little portrait art in the corner, but it's actually very difficult to identify the units by their portrait art at this point in time. So again, we're just kind of chilling for right now. I'd also love to 2-star the Zed. I've been on 1-star Zed for a while now, and I have 2 out of 3 Zeds. And it looks like, oh, this is the person who had the Think Fast, and they also had the loaded dice. So they are playing a reroll team composition that's based around the Super trait, which is another entertaining trait. It's a reroll trait. I'll just read the description for you. Supers, combat at the start of combat strike opposed, grants your team 20% bonus damage, increases by 6% for every 3-star champion on your team. So as I said, it's a reroll trait, 20% bonus damage for the team at start, and then every 3-star adds another 6% to that. I think they had like 4 or 5 3-stars on their board, so their benefit was like, I don't know, almost 40% additional damage, something crazy like that. I actually almost beat that person, which I was pretty pleased to get that close to winning. I think this person's board, the Supers board, and then the person who's just bug exploiting are the 2 strong. So though someone actually beat the person who's got the big underground cash out. By the way, I also decided then I would try Nunu here as well. So Nunu is another one of the legendary units. He doesn't really fit this comp at all. I'm just trying to test out different things there. His abilities are Mascot and Gadget Teen. I don't have either of these traits in play. He basically rolls a big snowball around, and then it gets bigger and bigger as the combat goes on. It deals magic damage to whatever it hits. This is one of the funniest units I can remember seeing. It's reminiscent of Singed from set 2, for people who might remember that far back in time. As I said, I don't think this unit is especially strong at the moment, but it is a pretty hilarious unit to watch roll around here. All right, I get this. So another Anvil, I get the choice of picking from a number of different options. I picked the Jeweled Gauntlet. Makes sense. I want to put this on Misfortune. Her ability is magic damage, just FYI. So you don't want to put physical damage items on her. Does deal magic damage. And now I'm just rolling it down. There is Set. That's the unit I was looking for. So we're going to go ahead and sell that Nunu, who was just played for the minion round, and now I'm going to look to play the Set. By the way, up to 7 Misfortunes. I only need 1 more MF, and I've got the 3-star. I just need 1 more because I have that champion duplicator on my bench. So it's like, come on. There's another Riven. I'm also on 7 Riven, so like I'm getting close here. Would I use the champion duplicator on Riven? I might. I'd have to think about whether I want to do so or not, but I would need to find another Riven for that to happen. All right, I'm up against the person who's got the triple Tactician's Crown again. And they're now moving into legendary units, the 5 cost, and just putting like Thief's Gloves on them. And they just have so many units on their board. All right, MF's going to get her ult off, and she kills a good portion of the enemy team, but just not quite enough. Just can't quite kill this person. I wonder who it is that actually beat them, by the way. Surprised anyone beat their board. They have 12 units on their board right now. I have 8. So, yeah, kind of cheating, but they also have so many items they can't even finish itemizing their champions. Doesn't feel fair, but I guess this is PBE. So anyway, I'm just going to continue rolling here. Oh, there's another Riven and another Set. I don't pass up this Riven, do I? All right, there we go. So we get the Riven. There's a Vayne. I guess I should pick it up. And oh, Riven 3-star. Okay. All right, there we go. So I run out of money here, and I decide I'm not going to go for Vayne 3-star. I'm just too far off. I'm just looking for that 1 more Misfortune, but I do have 3-star Vayne or a 3-star Riven now, and that's a big deal because Riven is my main frontliner. Remember, I've got all 3 of her traits in play. I've got Anima Squad, so Riven is getting the additional AP and AD. By the way, I'm glad Misfortune does not get hit by the Zephyr there, or the Shroud, excuse me. Glad I did not get shrouded. But Riven, she's got all of her traits in place, so she's got the AD and AP from Anima Squad. She has the Defender trait in, which gives her additional armor and also provides a small amount of armor to the whole team. And then she's got Brawler trait in, which means she gets increased max hit points. So for a 3-star unit, which has high base hit points to begin with, that's pretty significant. And then I put a Gargoyle Stoneplate on her earlier. So she is a very, very tanky unit. And that's great news for me. All right, now can we find this last Misfortune? We just need 1 more. Just need 1 more. Come on. Misfortune? Can we hit it? No. Okay. But there is a Z there, so I'll go ahead and lock for that in the store. Might as well go ahead and lock for that, just so I can get Zed 2-star. Not a big deal. Zed, as I said, is mostly a trait pot, but, you know, it works. We'll definitely pick that up. It's worth locking the store for a round. Meanwhile, I am going to be up against the person who... This is the person who had the Think Fast board and is playing the Supers. Yeah, person who's playing Super Straight. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 3-star units, so their board is quite strong. That said, though, now that I have the 3-star Riven, they're kind of getting stuck on the Riven. They're having a lot of difficulty killing that. And if I can get MF's ult off, I think I should just blast right through the rest of this board. Actually, we might not even need it. Looks like we're kind of winning before MF even ults, which is a pretty good sign for us. So looks like, yeah, looks like we are stronger than that person. So now the only one I have to worry about is that 3-star, or excuse me, the person with all the Tactician's Crowns. That's the only one I still need to worry about. Oh, that person loses to a Ghost. What a sad way to lose a 1v1 duel and then loses to the Ghost round. Womp womp. All right, it is another carousel here. So we've got finished items. Unfortunately, not good MF items. I was really hoping for something that was AP based that I could put on her. I also would not have mind. So like Deathblade is pretty useless here. I was like, I guess I'm gonna take the Last Whisper, even though it's not an MF item at all. I'll just go ahead and take this because it does have attack speed on it, and it was better than the other options. Also would have taken the Bramble Vest for Riven. That would have been a really good item for Riven, but that got taken as well, so not much I could do there. All right, and there's another Vein, but I don't think I'm going to lock the store for that. We'll just continue chilling here. So Riven, I guess I'll just cover her trait briefly here, how her ability works. It's somewhat similar to what she was like in set 4. So her ability is Bunny Blade. Great name, Bunny Blade. Costs 100 mana. Riven gains a health shield for 4 seconds, empowers her next 3 attacks with bonus magic damage. If Riven has more health than her target, she deals 100% more bonus magic damage. And her shield goes up and her damage goes up with more ranks in her as she stars up as usual. So she's basically a tank, but she's also like a tank that can deal some magic damage as well. So I would imagine that you would build her tanky stuff plus maybe like some modest AP. I would guess that maybe like Ionic Spark would be pretty good on her, but this is just me spitballing here. All right, now I'm up against the person who is... I know I'm going to be up against the person who's playing that all the units with the Tactician's Crown. So still have not found the Misfortune. Look at that board. So many Tactician's Crowns. They still can't even use their items. And they just have everybody clumped up together. I believe that's because one of the units on their team gives a benefit to units that stand next to them, but I could be wrong on that. I can't quite recall. So we're just going to bunch up here in the corner. One thing about Misfortune, though, is she is quite good at dealing with clumped targets. So if I can actually get her to ult against that big blob, I actually think we have decent odds to maybe punch through this. I guess we'll have to find out. The ability you just saw is Mordekaiser's ability. He's a legendary unit. Wow, nice MF ult. He drops a building on your team, which is pretty hilarious, and it serves as a, I believe it's a magic-resistant shred, but I could be wrong on that. So, oh, hello. Hello, we actually won that round. Okay, alrighty then. So I was actually able to win, and there's the Z 2-star. So now we just have one missing piece. We just got to find this Misfortune. Can we find one more? I've been holding this champion duplicator for like 15 rounds now, just looking for one more MF. Hey, the Last Whisper does shred armor. I mean, it does serve as an armor shred, even though that's not really the item you would want on Misfortune. I was just hovering over her ability, and it looks like her ability increases in damage by about 4 times. It like kind of quadruples if you can get her to 3-star, which again, she's a 4-cost unit, so you're not going to 3-star her very often, at least outside of double up mode. So I was like, do I get a champion duplicator here? Champion duplicator? No, we get an anvil. But oh, there's an MF in the store. Oh, okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the blue buff here, and that's just so that she casts sooner. And that's literally so she just gets her cast off faster. But there's no point in even rolling. We know what we need now. We've got the 3-star. Yeah, past me enjoying the moment, savoring the 3-star Misfortune that's about to drop on this person's board. I don't think this person was maybe the most experienced player at Teamfight Tactics. Like, they didn't even attempt to put they have a Shroud of Stillness. They didn't even attempt to put the Shroud like on top of the Misfortune, which would be a very, very big deal since it would slow down her cast. But nope, they actually end up shrouding very little. I guess they got Riven, but that's about it. Misfortune is going to get knocked up in the air. I was like, MF, can you... Oh my god, that damage. Okay, well, where did the enemy team go? There was a team there, and then she ulted, and then there wasn't a team there. So that's going to put a wrap on this one. We actually managed to beat the person who was abusing the underground bug. They had triple Tactician's Crowns, and they had like 4 different 5-cost units that they had all 2-starred. But I was still able to beat them anyway. Still able to win with the team that I had here. They were kind of close to 3-starring Mordekaiser, I think. So I'm glad that I was able to win that one. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had 6 different legendary units that they 2-starred. What the heck? Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this early sneak peek. Until later, take care.